Chapter 13. My fifth and final year. To my surprise, graduate courses seemed easier than undergraduate courses. I say this because they cut out the fluff and increase the focus on the most relevant subject matter. It also seems easier because graduate students have matured and become more focused than they ever were before. However, there were still times when I struggled and needed help in certain courses. Thank God for Joaquin Garza. Joaquin graduated from my high school a year after me. We knew each other, but not on a friend or let's hang out type of level. Later, he chose to attend Miami University and become a finance major. Having similar backgrounds and knowing that many from our high school did not have the same opportunities, we helped each other in any way we could. We inevitably made the decision to become housemates. Then, we were both accepted into the Masters of Accountancy program and for KPMG internships in Cincinnati. Honestly, without Joaquin, I probably would not have completed graduate school on time. Joaquin also had an exclusive all-access parking pass for his car, which he would let me drive to class and track practice.
Questions we must ask ourselves.
I created these questions before my final collegiate track seasons. I will use athletic references, but they are still beneficial for students and graduates who do not participate in sports. Relate these questions and explanations in ways that are meaningful to your life. These 3 foundational questions are great starting points and will lead anyone to dig deeper. 1. Do I believe in myself? 2. Do I trust my coach or mentor? 3. How great do I truly want to be? If athletes do not believe in themselves, it will show on the outside. They will look nervous and tense. On the inside, they will begin to worry about the thoughts of others instead of focusing on executing what they have practiced. My parents believed in me before I ever believed in myself. But to reach and maximize my potential, I had to fully believe in myself. If you read this and feel like nobody believes in you, I believe in you. Now, pick your head up and use your power to make your dreams a reality. If an athlete does not trust their coach, they will eventually use them as a scapegoat if they do not perform how they think they should. However, a coach cannot do the assigned activities for their athlete, such as running a race or shooting a ball, just like a teacher cannot take or pass a test for their student. Both can only provide guidance and wisdom. I doubt that a teacher would intentionally sabotage their students. However, since teachers do not know everything, they still suffer from ignorance. It is you who must take a hard look in the mirror. If you disagree with your coach, mentor, or teacher, it is your responsibility to have tough but respectful conversations with them about how you feel. Coaching, teaching, and mentoring are all two-way streets of communication. Communication is the giving and the receiving of information. Listen to your coach, teacher, or mentor and respectfully tell them what you are thinking and feeling. Asking yourself how great you want to be allows for reflection and foresight. You are then led to think and ask, do my actions, decisions, habits, friend groups, and food intake concur with the level of greatness I say I want to achieve? Find and maximize what helps and coincides with your goals. Decrease or eliminate what does not. I accompany these questions with a letter I wrote during a business management class and share it with my teammates. Dear teammates, greatness is a choice. Coach or anyone else who tries to help you can only give you tips and tools so you can do and be better. But it all comes down to a choice to want to do the right things. You have to want to be great and work your tail off. Trust what the coach is saying and give it your all. I can take you to the water, but I cannot make you drink. You have to see the bigger picture. Everything you are doing now is preparing you for the future. Will your future self say, thank you, to your past self? If you are half-assing and giving lackluster effort, then don't get mad when you earn those same results. Sincerely, Kenny Glenn. Mr. Figure It Out. Before my last semester of college, The scholarship I received, thanks to my father's former military involvement, which paid for about 95% of my tuition, was abruptly taken away. The program noticed my graduate courses and disqualified me from receiving further financial assistance. My father explained to them my special situation of being in a combined undergraduate and graduate program, but there was no way of getting it back. My mother already knew I would figure it out, and that is exactly what I did. I researched scholarships that Miami offered to graduate students, and sure enough, I found one that was specific to graduate students with marginalized backgrounds. It is rare for scholarships to be granted in the middle of a school year, but my situation was also rare. I spoke with the necessary staff members and explained my situation in a way that painted a picture of, I really want to stay at Miami, but without being granted this scholarship, I will have to transfer. For my graduate program, this would mean they would have another graduating class without a Black student, and it would tarnish their diversity goals. I knew this and leveraged it. I was originally told they would do their best to find a scholarship if any more were available. You better believe they found the money to pay for me to stay and graduate from their program. This is another example of how I used my skin color as an advantage instead of a hindrance. I just had to be creative and willing to find whatever was necessary. My last collegiate track seasons. Before my last seasons, I sought advice from a former teammate, Andrew Dusing. After a near 20-year stint, he was one of the first Miami track and field athletes to achieve All-American status. I asked him what his mindset was as he prepared for his final season. He explained to me that he started to believe that he was one of the best in the country and that he should be one of the top 3 finishers in every competition. His advice was added confirmation to be confident in my abilities to achieve my big goals. In these seasons, I also finally had a coach who was strictly dedicated to jumps. No offense to my coaches Chad Reynolds and Russell Peterson, but they are all-around coaches who had to split their time with the whole team. Coach Tyler Sunwall came in and only had his eyes on me and the other jumpers on our team. He helped to grow my confidence and knowledge in the event of long jump. He was also open to my ideas of trying new cues and techniques. Our first couple of indoor meets together were shaky as we got adjusted to each other's styles during competition. But eventually, I had some big indoor jumps, which allowed me to qualify for the USATF National Championships in New York. This was an opportunity to compete against professional athletes from around the country. During my last indoor track season, I also had the opportunity to be flown out to Microsoft's headquarters in Seattle, Washington, for a final interview, thanks to Akosua Boadi Ajimang. She lives boldly and has even gone viral by doing so. She posted on LinkedIn about the struggles of obtaining an internship as an international student in the United States. This attracted the attention of millions, most importantly, recruiters and CEOs around the globe. Even though I wanted to work with Dr. Baker, he still supported my decision to interview with Microsoft. I originally accepted the opportunity for the final interview, and Microsoft paid for my flight and hotel. However, it came about that the USATF National Championships would be held on the same day, and Microsoft would not allow a makeup date. I chose track over Microsoft because it was a once-in-a-lifetime type of opportunity. The cost of this decision was giving up the preparation I had done to get the Microsoft position. Being forced to choose one or the other because of the date conflict saddened me, but everything happens for a reason. If I had chosen to go to the Microsoft interview instead of the track championships in New York,
I would not have switched my long jump technique to what I saw better jumpers doing.
I also would not have reconnected with Ryan Billion, my former competitor turned friend and professional training partner. Ryan informed me about being a professional track athlete while also being coached by Dwight Phillips, the same coach I sought advice from after my first internship. I did not give much thought to becoming an Olympian or a professional athlete until that moment. Additionally, I would not have the same experiences that led me to write this book, and fortunately, my interview preparation did not go to waste. I was able to give everything I had learned to my good friend Adrian Awua, which helped him attain a full-time position with Microsoft in the same program I had sought after. At the championships, I achieved fifth place and won $1,000. Unfortunately, as a college athlete in 2019, I was not allowed to accept the money. In the first outdoor meet of the season, I implemented a new jumping technique and purposefully involved the crowd. This technique helped me jump a new personal best, breaking my previous collegiate school record. In the long jump, some jumpers will include a clap routine to involve the crowd, which increases excitement and helps gain a rhythm. Until my last season, I was nervous about implementing this tactic because I did not want to draw too much attention to myself, only to fail. I had fearful thoughts such as, what if I foul? Or what if it's a bad jump? This time around, I turned that fear into fuel. I switched my thoughts and answered my own questions. If I foul, then I will just jump again because it is not the end of the world. I will not have a bad jump because I have practiced way too many times to let that happen. All eyes will be on me, whether I use the clap or not, because I came here to win and be the best. I might as well give the crowd what they came to see while spreading the fun. With my new coach, technique, and mindset shift, I felt like I was back in high school. I won or placed in the top 5 at every meet I traveled to. This included the prestigious Penn Relays, which seems as if the entire country of Jamaica comes to watch. Then, during a meet at Indiana University, I jumped a lifetime best of 7.80 meters, which translates to 25 feet, 7¼ inches. Every centimeter counts. I have seen long jump competitions lost by 1 centimeter, including some of mine. I thank Trayton Harris for pushing me to jump so far that day. Trayton was an Indiana University long jumper whom I consistently saw and competed against at meets throughout my college career. Our battles helped us grow a mutual sense of respect and a solid friendship. With this success as a student athlete, I had constant opportunities to get better at public speaking and dealing with the media. Many times, I was interviewed with cameras directly in my face and no time to prepare. Even at the mature age of 21 and during my 5th year of college, I still imitated what I saw from big-time celebrities like Russell Westbrook. In one of my interviews, I decided to wear sunglasses indoors, and Coach Peterson was not a fan of this. He felt and expressed to me that such behavior was unprofessional and a poor reflection of his leadership. In my defense, I was just having fun and doing what I saw professional athletes do. This is an example of why I do not entirely place blame on students and graduates when they are simply imitating what they see from media icons. Someone who cares about them needs to show them a better way to present themselves professionally. Graduation time. Even with my success on the track, I still had to work extra hard in the classroom. I was digging myself out of a GPA ditch. There was no time for parties, as I had to make sure I earned an A or a B+ in each of my graduate courses. Some of my previous professors had lowered my grade due to low participation, which is typical of graduate-level coursework. Moving forward, I made sure I participated in class meaningfully and more consistently than anyone else. This type of focus allowed me to get A's on accounting exams, which is something I had never done before. Still, there was one class every student in the graduate program struggled with. I purposefully sat in the front of this class and established a solid relationship with my professor. Unfortunately, I did not do well enough on the final exam to solidify a B+ in the class. However, thanks to my participation throughout the entire semester, my professor gave me the grade I needed to graduate. Dear Kenny, your college professors highly appreciate it when you participate and establish personal relationships with them. Do this and you will see the benefits. Sincerely, Kenny Glenn, success coach and entrepreneur. It would have been embarrassing not to officially graduate because I had family from New York and California coming to Ohio to celebrate my achievements. I needed at least a 3.00 GPA, and thanks to my increased focus, I squeezed by with a 3.02. This guaranteed I would graduate and not need to attend another college course. I also saved money at graduation time. I still owned my high school graduation cap and gown, which were black. Although Miami University's colors are red and white, master's graduates wear the color black on graduation day. This reality saved me $70, and I only had to buy a master's hood. I kept this hood and let my younger sister use it later for her master's graduation ceremonies. Dear Kenny, once you achieve your degree, it does not matter how long it took you. You may have gotten some C's, but you outweighed them with A's and B's. What matters is that you completed what you started. Along the journey, you overcame every obstacle that was thrown your way. You connected with some fantastic people, and now you will join an illustrious group, the alumni. Utilize that title to your full advantage. You earned it, and now it is time to reap the benefits. Sincerely, Kenny Glenn, success coach and entrepreneur. I am extremely grateful to have graduated with no college debt, thanks to my father's military veteran status and his willingness to pay portions of my tuition and housing. Earning academic and athletic scholarships provided tremendous assistance as well. This reality allowed me to accept an entrepreneurial position with Dr. Baker and Associates that had no hourly wage, salary, or monetary guarantees. After graduation, I would save money by living with my parents and only paying a $250 monthly car payment until I traded that car in to save even more money. Although I have achieved my master's degree, my advice to anyone considering getting theirs is to think carefully about how they can leverage the degree. No matter how many master's degrees you are offered, the greatest thing you can ever master is yourself. Also, graduating from college with no student loan debt is not the norm. I understand many graduates take whatever job offer they can find because of the debt they must pay. This occurs much too often, even if the job does not align with their passion. I see this in graduates who want to be full-time entrepreneurs, but sometimes patience is necessary. There is no shame in being an employee while also growing your side hustle to a level where it can eventually become your main source of income. My advice to those who find themselves in these types of situations is to do what they have to do until they can do what they want to do. If you have the guts to do otherwise, then do it, but recognize the risk you are taking.